There I was, sitting atop my career mountain, a peak I had spent years scaling. My team's last digital marketing launch wasn't just a success. It was the biggest of its kind, a 57 million record breaker in only 7 months. The applause from our industry was thunderous. And yet, in the eerie silence of my victory, an elusive entity was silently creeping into my moment of triumph. It followed me as I dropped down the other side of the mountain, casting a shadow over everything, including my mental health, bringing with it a void of doubt and confusion. It was like nothing I had ever experienced before. So I'd like to invite you to step into my shoes, just for a moment. Just imagine. Imagine reaching the apex of your dreams, only to be greeted by a silence that is so deafening, it's drowning out the world's cheers, causing you to doubt all of your actions, making you feel like an imposter. I'm talking about the hidden turbulence that lurks under the wake of success. It's a chapter often left unwritten in the chronicles of achievement. It's a shadow that I call the success monster. I was raised in a family of professional athletes where triumph wasn't an aspiration for us. Oh no, it was our legacy. Victory was familiar to me as I, too, a regular on the podium, basking in early and frequent achievements. But life led me elsewhere, to a small community in Mexico where I started a family and found that there was no network for expats like myself. So I created one. What started as a mommy's group grew into a tribe of 2,300 local mothers. They all supported each other. It was beautiful. And with that, I provided support with childbirth, motherhood, entrepreneurship, education, the unspoken trials, the echoes of struggle. They shared them all. There was a universal truth, similar of the shadow. Fast forward through the building and crumbling of many businesses, the victories, the losses, I learned to adapt, to change, to seek authenticity at every corner. It was exhilarating. I do love solving problems to challenges, but it was also a soul-crushing ride. Then it happened. Oh, I reached the zenith. I made it to the top. I became a partner in a groundbreaking enterprise. And I actually said this to myself, I can die happy now because I had achieved it all. So I thought. Yet, there was that feeling. It was fleeting. Even with all the trappings of success all around me, I had never felt so lost. It got to a point where I was even questioning life itself. But how could this be? I literally had every single thing I have ever wanted in my life. But luckily, in the depths of that despair, an epiphany struck as clear as day. This shadow, it was not new to me. The success monster was not an unfamiliar rival. I had encountered it before, many, many times actually, because it is a part of me. It showed up when I was an athlete, a new mother, and in many of my entrepreneurial adventures. And I've seen it show up in the mothers that I supported in Mexico, mirroring a silent struggle of postpartum depression. There was a pattern here. The success monster is powerful, absolutely. It is often an overwhelming aftermath of our victories. This force is potent, it's common, and it waits us all post-triumph. Like the complex emotions after delivering a baby, the solitude in the wake after winning the Olympic medal, or the unexpected anxiety of a career promotion. There's a chaotic aftermath of success that few talk about, but absolutely everybody experiences. However, among goal-setting high achievers, this admission of struggle is often seen as a sign of weakness, an imperfection in the glossy cover of success. Yet, beneath the surface, the reality is this struggle is as common as the victories themselves. But the thing is, success is not the culprit here. No. Rather, it's the daunting question of what now? What's next? Can I top this? That lingers after. So today, I'm here to speak a truth, often left unspoken. A common thread between all those who have tasted victory. It's not the initial rush of success, but rather what comes after. The unseen struggle that victors face in the quiet aftermath of their achievements. So, if you're feeling lost, wrestling with FOMO, fear of missing out, if you're not sure what that means, facing fear, doubting your self-worth, if you're pondering, now what? Then this is absolutely for you. So let's explore the Success Monster technique. It's a strategy that provides stability among uncertainties that success can bring. As we start to walk through this journey with Sam, who's a client of mine, we first discovered what her success monster archetype persona was. Then we used the MNSTR technique, monster technique, that I will share with you now. But first, I invite you to reflect on your own experiences so that you may be able to identify your own monster moments as we dive in. So let's start with M for mindset. Sam was unstoppable in her corporate climb. However, she grappled with a hollow victory. Success had left her feeling, so lost and isolated in the very achievement she had worked so hard for. So we focused on the growth mindset. It was like planting seeds in a once barren field. She rekindled the spark, transforming not her goals, but her inner landscape, changing her post-success blues into a rebirth of purpose. You know, they never tell you that sometimes climbing down the mountain is a lot harder than going up. Next, we have N for neurochemical understanding. Every one of us, unknowingly, has a pharmacy in our heads. Sam, like countless others, when she reached her milestone, her brain flooded with so many chemicals like dopamine, that sweet victory rush. But once that confetti settled, so did the adrenaline and the dopamine levels, leaving a deep void. It's a universal truth. The bigger the accomplishment, the bigger the emotional drop. So I guided Sam through the neuroscience of post-success blues. She learned to anticipate the drop, to be prepared, to manage the inevitable neurochemical tide. It's not understanding the theory, but rather the integrating the practical strategies like this for when our internal pharmacy dispenses a dose of reality. You mean, if only our brains came with a user manual stating, warning, prolonged exposure to success might lead to severe emotional hangovers, we all might be better off. At least I know I would have been. Next is S for satisfaction. Intrinsic versus extrinsic. So we know that recognition showered over Sam, and she expected to feel a sense of fulfillment. But as the applause faded, so did her purpose. It's a lesson that we're all confronted with. The shiny trophies, the nods of approval, the new watches, the new cars, They thrill momentarily, yes, they do. But yet, a quest for meaning still lingers afterwards, in many cases. So, we peeled away the layers of extrinsic attraction, and we revealed her intrinsic desires, revealing her authentic self, her personal values that no spotlight could ever fade. I helped her pivot from external validation to internal satisfaction where her true happiness blossomed. So you have to ask yourself, am I doing this for me or for everybody else? Now we have T for treadmill, the hedonic management. So we now know that Sam received her promotion. The rush was intoxicating, of course, but not for long. And that's the hedonic treadmill for you. It brings us right back to our default state of happiness, regardless of the highs or the lows. It's our psyche's reset button, pushing us right back to a familiar emotional baseline after each spike of joy and drop of disappointment. Understanding this, Sam learned to recognize and to anticipate the inevitable return to her emotional norm. It's basically just like a heartbeat, and it's our job to maintain our level of happiness. After all, isn't it ironic that we often run the fastest only to stay in the same place? It's pretty ironic, isn't it? So we had M, N, S, T, and finally we're on R for restoration of motivation and wellness. We now know that Sam felt lost after her promotion. The initial rush was replaced by turmoil, and she pondered the typical, now what? So we explored the power of restoration. For Sam, it was about embracing wellness practices, stretching to flex her resilience, attitude of gratitude to clear the fog of doubt, and quality time with her loved ones to fill her emotional core. Then we focused on her target, envisioning not just her goal, but a meaningful tether to her next summit, her love. So her dedication wasn't just to the role, but to the impact that she could make. And then lastly, we fortified her grit, preparing her mentally for the hurdles that are coming ahead. Sam's journey to restoration wasn't just about getting back on track, it's about setting a more manageable balance. As we journey through the Success Monster technique, a profound realization appears. Success is not our final destination. It's merely one of the many milestones in the vast map of our aspirations. It's not the peaks that we reach that define us, but rather, it's the valleys that lie beyond them, testing our essence of our resilience. High achievers must prepare equally for both the ascent as well as the unexpected descent that is going to follow. This, dear friends, this is the roadmap to healing, rejuvenation, and the kickstart that you're going to need to pursue your next goals without sacrificing your sanity. To the millions of people watching, let ambition fuel you. Let wisdom steer you. Success is a tapestry of trials and triumphs. Celebrate your victories and grow through the descents. Please narrate a saga that's authentically yours. So today, with mental health on the table, we understand the silent struggle akin to postpartum depression that high achievers face post-success. Let's acknowledge these hidden struggles and offer support as we do for new parents. No one should navigate the aftermath alone. So let's lift the veil and journey together. And whenever you hear the footsteps of your monster creeping into your moment of victory, just chant MNSTR. Mindset, neurochemical, satisfaction, treadmill, restoration. Recognize your position within each one and realign yourself. You now have the tools to tame your own success monster. So please, please continue reaching for the stars. You got this. You do. There is no goal too big for you now.